Brittany is here. Brittany, we can see it's a lot on the radar already.
Yeah, a lot of these storms have produced, of course, deadly tornadoes. We know a lot of significant wind damage. I mentioned this earlier in the newscast, but we're already starting to get reports in western portions of North Carolina, even ahead of the main line, already of some thunderstorm wind damage. So the winds already starting to gust this evening. You're probably noticing it. Notice all of these polygons there shaded in the orange and the yellow colors. Those are indicating severe thunderstorms. The green is flash flood warnings, which, of course, we're seeing that as well. It's a lot of heavy rains coming our way. Right now, we are still seeing a few areas with some spinning storms, potential tornadoes in parts of Georgia and all the way into southern Alabama. Now, the storm system is going to weaken by the time it gets here. I know sometimes it's really scary when you see some of those images of places like Missouri, western parts of Tennessee, but the storm system will weaken before it gets to the Carolinas. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we aren't under a risk. The risk is just not as aggressive and as high as areas toward our west. We're still under tornado watches for areas west of the Charlotte area. There have been some hints that we could see this expanded further east, but as of now, it has not yet. If you have the WCNC Charlotte mobile app, you will get an alert to your phone if you have those location settings turned on if this tornado watch were to be expanded eastward into our area. It's something right now that I wouldn't be surprised by, as we do have this low wind risk of tornadoes overnight. You can see the time frame here overnight. That's till about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So you can see a moderate risk for areas well west of 77, so the mountains over toward Cleveland County, and a low risk for everyone else. As we enter tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock is kind of the switch over time. It's really not a substantial change. We just go from a low to more medium risk for areas east of the Charlotte area. And I'll tell you the big reason why: a little bit more daytime heating and a little bit better chance of those quick spin ups because of the fact that a lot of the storms for the mountain areas, for example, are coming in earlier in the morning. So look at these futurecast rotation tracks. You can see some of those early morning rotating storms possible 4, 5, 6 a.m. for areas in the mountains. Keep in mind, too, we now have that later sunrise, so a lot of folks will still be in the dark at this point. We will see that rotation track potential shift a little bit closer to the Charlotte Metro by 8 and then a little bit further east. Notice, though, see how much more colorful you can see the yellows and the orange shading for areas east of Charlotte. That is because of that higher chance of instability. And it goes right in form here with the timing of the actual futurecast. So 2 o'clock in the morning, best chance to start seeing some storms for our northwestern counties. By 5 o'clock, we'll be hugging I-77, pushing eastward through the 6, 7, and 8 o'clock time frame. And then eventually those storms do shift eastward. But again, once they're east of I-77, that'll be an even higher risk of seeing those quick spin ups, as that is where we get into that moderate risk. So impacts overall, highest one, still gusty winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, but we'll be watching those potential rotating storms with that low wind tornado risk. Small hail, it's a possibility, but these storms are not going to be tapping into a lot of cold air, so that's more of a lower risk there overall versus the tornado and wind risk. Here's your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast. We know we want you to stay weather aware, weather alert all throughout the day tomorrow. We could see a few more storms on the back end in the afternoon, so something our team will be watching closely. A big day, Colin. Of course, I'll be here until Becca and Brad get in the morning, and then we'll have full coverage, of course, tomorrow afternoon with a few more storms on the back end with us back here tomorrow, same time, same place.